Hello everyone, Kappolo here, and today I want to bring to you a Blitz deck that is dash control. Usually in Blitz we play dash aggro, but I take inspiration from T and Baugh from Team Magnolia, their deck that they played at Nationals. They play some dash control list, and I adapted it to Blitz. I have not had time to build it in paper, so we are doing a deck through FABTCG website. And you can find the deck list in the description down below if you want to try it out for yourself. So as a dash control list, we want to rely on items. For this reason, we have Induction Chamber. This is the starting item against every single matchup. And then with Spark of Genius, or just naturally, you want to get Plasma Purifier, and then an Induction Chamber, and then the last Plasma Purifier. This deck list is built to beat Guardian, so if you have a lot of Oldhim in your metagame, this is a good choice. I felt like the Oldhim matchup is quite easy with this list. It is not super good against aggressive decks. You can win, but it's slightly harder, especially to go wide like Fi could be a bit tough, but this deck has been a blast to play. I've played it on Talishar for like all last night and all this morning, and having a ton of fun with it. So let's look at the various components of this deck list. Of course, our items, we have the Induction Chambers and the Plasma Purifier and the usual suspect of Spark of Genius to get our items. Then the deck list is built to have impactful defense reactions and a blue that blocks well and some life gain. So as defense reaction, we have the usual suspect of Fate Foreseen. You can play Sing Below too. I just add Fate Foreseen in this deck list just because you want to know what's on top of your deck. Sing Below can be good too, but too many reds can hinder your deck. Then for other reds we have Oresis Respite, which is kind of a defense reaction. Then for other defense reactions we are playing Springboard Somersault, which is a yellow 10 from Arsenal blocks for 4. This is really good, especially with resources, so being a yellow is quite good. And then we had That All You Got, which is good against aggressive decks that attack for a smaller amount of damage. And the last defense reaction we have is Unmovable. This is pretty good in combination of the Heart of Fyendal, so you can defend for 8 and gain some life. Then for other reds we have Oresis Respite, which is good against Wizard, but Wizard is slightly less relevant since of the banning of Striders that happened, but Icelander is still one of the big decks, so having access to Oasis Respite is quite good. And we have Sigil of Solace to gain some life. Sometimes you just need to gain some life. This is quite good, like to arsenal it and bait out like a crazy little attack from your opponent, and you gain 3 life and still be alive. Then the last yellow card is Fyendal Spring Tunic, that when you attack or defend with it, if you have less life, you gain life, which is pretty good, especially if you only need to block for 2, or it kind of blocks for 3, but on it effect still happens. Last, the core of the deck is blue cards to feed our plan of the pistol. Yeah, as I said, we play Induction Chamber and Plasma Purifier, so our weapon is the pistol. We'll look at equipment in a second. This is the current configuration of basically blue that blocks for 3, besides the Heart of Fyendal, so you can field the pistol and you can block with them if you have to. One thing you might want to change is that instead of playing Shockwave or Throttle or maybe the Brutal Assault, you want more just generic action, because Kasai and the Sabers care about the non-attack actions to block with, so you might want to up the number. But so far I've been liking this list just because you have the option of actually attacking with the Shockwave or attacking with a Throttle. Especially late game when you end in the loop of pistol and you have a lot of item and a lot of blues. Sometimes you just want to go attack with pistol for 4, go again, attack with pistol for 4, go again, reload all of your items and finish with like a Command and Conquer or a Throttle. Some interesting cards from their list that I've been enjoying, it's This Runs on Me, especially against go wide decks. You can give the attack -1, also of course non-attack action to blast for 3. This has been really good for me. Sift is similar, I never played it, I just use it for pitching. But if you are in dire needs to find something, you can put 2 cards on the bottom, especially if you're trying to find a defense reaction, if you're playing against Oldim or Bravo and you're expecting a big attack coming next turn. And then late game we have Last Ditch Effort. Even against Oldim I never got fatigued enough to have Last Ditch Effort to become relevant, but you always have this option. But this is the deck, plays pretty good, I have a ton of fun with it. And then let's see the equipment. So the default loadout is for Cold Pistol. You play Skull Cap since you're playing a control version. Crown of Providence is not really relevant. I think the 3 blocks of Skull Cap over the 2 of Crown of Providence is better. Then you're playing Hydronite Gauntlet and Hydronite Legs for extra block. And you're playing Fender Spring Tunic. This fuels your block with Gauntlet. It fuels the block with Oasis Respite. Or you can just use the resources generated from Spring Tunic to load one of your items. I found that Spring Tunic has been really good in this deck. You usually do use the resources 2 to 3 times and then you can probably block with it depending on the matchup. If you play against Oldim, you don't ever want to block with this just because the 1 resource equates to more damage. Then some sideboard options. If we are playing against decks that really care about on hit, for example Benji or Fi, you can bring in the Teklo Foundry Heart. Then we have the Gambler's Glove that is for Levia, Reiner, KO. After playing a lot with Gambler's Glove in Dash against Reiner, I think this card is just meh and I could see carding in the future. Then we have our Arcane Barrier suite. That is Achilles Accelerators, Neuron Gloves, Neuron Robe, and Visitoring Model I. This gives us 5 Arcane Barrier, which is quite good, especially against Wizards. But if you don't expect many Arcane Damage 5, especially with Kano, I think with Icelander you probably still want to play this Fiendal Spring Tunic, because the resource it gives you is probably better than 1 RX Arcane Barrier when you already have 4. Going to 5 can be excessive. But I needed to add the 11th card for having the full deck list, so I put a Neuron Robe. This is it. This is my dash control for Blitz. It's been a ton of fun, I've been enjoying it a lot. And if you want to try it out on Talishar, you can find the link, as I said, in the description below. Thanks everybody for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.